Hello, Blue and Silver Nation. Welcome. Start strengthening your community by liking it and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you are not yet part of our community. Because here, the information never stops. There is a new video every day, everything you need to know to be a well-informed fan, so I'll tell you in advance. Stay until the end, because the news is unmissable. Without further ado, let's get straight to the point. The Detroit Lions board is facing a decision that could drastically change the course of the team's offense for the next few years. The future of Jameson Williams. After a breakthrough season in 2024, where the wide receiver recorded 58 receptions for 1,001 yards and scored 8 touchdowns, Williams' name has returned to the center of discussions, not only for his performance on the field, but also for the strategic importance he represents within the franchise. By May 1st, the Lions must decide whether to activate the 5th-year option on Williams' contract, a clause that could extend the player's contract with the team. But that could also serve as a bargaining chip in a possible bold trade during the 2025 draft. Despite his unquestionable talent, Jameson Williams is still a complex figure within the Lions' locker room. His current contract, worth $17 million, is now entering its final year. And although his recent performance places him as a key piece in Detroit's offense, there is a history off the field that creates uncertainty. This history, combined with the team's increasingly clear ambition to seek a Super Bowl title, forces the board to analyze each scenario with a cool head. The dilemma is simple, but profound. Keep Williams and bet on the continuity of a natural talent, or capitalize on his value now and seek a complete renewal of the receiving core before the challenges of a future contract become a burden. And that's where the Kansas City Chiefs come in. The two-time Super Bowl champion franchise has emerged as a potential destination for Williams, especially after recent losses on offense, including the departure of DeAndre Hopkins. With questions surrounding the health and performance of their current receivers, the Chiefs are urgently seeking an impactful piece, someone who can rejuvenate Patrick Mahomes' passing game and provide immediate explosiveness to the offensive system. For Kansas City, a trade for Williams represents a calculated risk. But for the Lions, it could mean giving up a generational talent in exchange for a new era built on the draft and pieces more aligned with the franchise's current culture. Meanwhile, the back room in Detroit is buzzing. The team has been closely analyzing the top wide receiver prospects in the 2025 class, looking for a name that can fill the void or even surpass the impact of Jameson Williams. The decision is directly tied to what the Lions intend to do in the draft. If they select a WR in the early rounds, the signal is clear. A trade is on the horizon. And with Kansas City already showing interest, the league's behind-the-scenes movement promises to heat up in the coming days. The move could be strategic, taking advantage of Williams' high market value to acquire important picks or, oh who knows, an already established player in direct exchange. Ultimately, the Jameson Williams situation is more than just a contractual issue. It represents a turning point in the Detroit Lions' offensive construction. The franchise has reached a point where it needs to balance immediate potential with long-term vision. Keeping Williams could be a step toward consolidating a dominant offense, but trading him at the right time could be the key to building a more complete and cohesive roster. What's at stake is not just the fate of one player. It's the definition of the Lions' offensive identity for the next 5 years. And as the countdown to the draft continues, the tension only increases in Detroit. The Detroit Lions may be about to find not only an answer, but a perfect combination of talent and opportunity in the 2025 draft. Although they haven't made any major moves this offseason to bolster their edge-rushing group, the lack of external signings is no coincidence. It's strategy. The franchise appears to be betting big on young talent, targeting the promising defensive end class in the upcoming draft. With that, it's increasingly clear that the search for a dominant pass rusher may not necessarily happen in the first round. And that's not a problem. On the contrary, it could be Brad Holmes and company's hidden ace. This is precisely where names like Princely Umanmielen and Donovan Ezeruaku come into play, bringing an exciting perspective for fans who follow every step of the way in the draft. Brent Sobleski of Bleacher Report got straight to the point when he pointed out that, despite the edge rusher position being extremely valued, players with potential to make an impact may indeed be available outside the top of the draft. Uman Milan, for example, has all the physical tools that scouts love: explosiveness, wingspan, increasing production, and a very high ceiling. In 2024, he shined with 10.5 sacks for Ole Miss and an impressive 91.5 pass rush grade, according to Pro Football Focus, numbers that would put any scout on alert. But it doesn't stop there. Donovan Ezeruaku from Boston College is another name that is catching the attention of analysts. Even though he is not the most explosive edge in the class, his refined technique and intelligence to attack the quarterback make him a gem in the second round. He represents the type of talent that can easily climb the boards in the final weeks before the draft, especially if a team sees in him the ability to be molded into a fundamental piece of their pass rush. The BR scouting department already considers him the second best sack specialist in the country, which only reinforces the idea that real value may be hidden beyond the first round. For the Lions, this is a golden opportunity. Instead of simply filling holes in their roster with the first pick, they could take a more strategic approach, drafting the best talent available in the first round, perhaps even bolstering other areas that are lacking, while still securing a high-impact edge rusher in the second. This would allow players like Uman Milan or Ezeruaku to be selected without the burden of being a first-round pick, but with the potential to perform like one. Uman Milan, for example, has 136 tackles and 25.5 sacks in his college career, showing that his growth is not recent, but rather a constant evolution. In addition, Uman Milan's physique is exactly what the Lions want in a modern edge. At 6'4", he has enough size, reach, and agility to hold his own against experienced NFL tackles. His 2024 season was the best of his career, with direct impact in important games and consistency in the front seven. He also forced a fumble and was a constant presence in the opposing backfield. All of this makes him a player who is not only ready for the next level, but is possibly underrated due to the other, more hyped names at the top of the class. And that's where Detroit can win the draft, by getting the right talent at the right time. With a deep pass-rushing class this year, the Lions have the ideal scenario to pick with calm and precision. If they want a surprise, they could even leave the edge rusher position to the second round, while focusing on other strategic holes like cornerback or offensive line. But if Uman Milan is still available when Detroit is on the clock in the second round, it will be hard to resist. The fit is natural, the talent is legitimate, and the chance to find a star outside of the first round is exactly the kind of move smart teams make to build something lasting. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you soon.